Hello there, it's Sarah from Paper Lovely. Thanks for joining me today. We are going to take another look at the Spellbinders Stencil Market Berries. This was the stencil from the April kit, and it is actually now available again on the Past Clubs kit section of the website. So I don't know how many are left. It is a limited supply, but if you missed it then, you now have the option to grab it now. At least as of the recording of this video, it is still available. I will link it for you below. So I'm going to start off here with doing two more of our stencils, and I've used a mix of very similar colors. I'm pulling in from Lawn Fawn, Fresh Cut Grass, and Walnut. And then from Close to My Heart, I'm going to switch things up when it comes to the berries and the flowers. But from Close to My Heart, I'm using Avocado, Sugar Plum, Canary, and Flamingo. I will then pull in a little bit of some American Crafts Blush Pigment ink because I wanted a little lighter of a pink color on one of those berries. So I'm going to include some music here, let you enjoy the process, and then I will meet you back when we start putting everything together. All right, let's start putting together our cards. So for this first one, I decided I wanted to add some die cut flowers. I'm giving you a look at another older die set from Spellbinders. This is called Thankful Tractor. It is from September of 2022. But I went through all of my old die sets, and these flowers were the closest I could find in matching the size as well as pretty much the shape of our stenciled flower. I want to add some layering and give some dimension by popping these on top of our stenciled flowers. So I have pulled out some cardstock here, and I'm using from Paper Tray Ink, Lavender Moon, and Autumn Rose. The yellow is from Spellbinders, and that is beeswax. So I am using my little tool here. I got this from Spellbinders years ago, and you just sort of like wiggle it around in the middle of the flower, and it gives it a really nice cup shape. I do that on top of my embossing mat for my die cutting machine, just to give it a little bit of cushion, and it's a very, very easy process. You then saw me there trim down my panel to 4x5.25. This is going to give me a little bit of a border on my card base. So I'm going to add some dots of art glitter glue here, and then I'm going to press down my flowers, just kind of varying the pattern and the colors. And then, of course, we will dot the inside of those with our little yellow centers. For my sentiments on these cards, I'm going to be using the Spellbinders Fresh Packed. And for this one, I went with Grown with Love. I'm using my Intense Black ink to stamp that out. Now we'll go ahead and add some ATG to the back of our card panel. And I'm going to carefully place this down, just trying to keep my border as even as I can. I want just a little bit of an 1/8 of an inch border sticking out on either side. We'll add some ATG to our inside panel and pop that down. And that will complete our first card. For our second panel, we're going to stretch this stencil a little bit. We're going to create 2 cards in one. So I'm starting out here by trimming down to 4 by 5 1/4. And then I'm going to pull in some cardstock from Stamp Market. I am using Party Pink, and I will also pull in some Tea Berry. And I'm just measuring this out, making sure that the pieces I have are going to fit properly. And then I'm going to trim this stencil panel exactly in half. I'm being really careful with my measurement here to make sure that this is going to equal my 4 by 5 1/4. And we're going to create a little set here. So we're just going to use the opposite sides. We'll have a little sort of matching half and half double card set. So I have pulled in, this is one of the paper panels that I use for the inside of my cards, but they're already trimmed to 4 by 5 1/4. So it was the perfect size to attach these 2 pieces together. I did do 3 stripes of my ATG, 1 along either side, and then of course in the middle. So this will be secured down nice and tight. And of course we'll do that twice for both of our card fronts. Now, as you can see, I had like a little slight variance there, so I will just trim off any little bit of extra from that paper below, and then we're ready to go for our panels. I wanted to cover up that middle seam. They did fit pretty flushly together, but this will just give it a much neater appearance. So this is that tea berry that I am pulling in, and I've got that trimmed to 1/2 inch wide. Going to add one of those with some art glitter glue to the center of both of our panels. And of course, then we will just trim off that excess. Using that same fresh pack stamp set, I'm going to stamp out a fresh hello, again using my intense black ink. And of course, we'll just swap our positioning of that for top and bottom. And now it's once again time to put our cards together. I'm going to add some art glitter glue to the back of each of these panels. And then I will again layer these on my card front, keeping that little 1/8 of an inch border around all 4 sides. And then we'll finish both of these off with a panel of that plain Nina paper on the inside. Lots of space for writing a note. And that will complete our final 2 cards. Sort of a 2-for-1 deal here on your time putting these together. Here are a few close-ups of the finished cards. In the description box below, you'll find my blog post, which has additional photos and links to the supplies I've used. If you enjoyed the video, please leave me a comment or a thumbs up and subscribe for more. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.